Oh, look, I'm live. Oh boy, I always surprise myself doing that. Good, A Model Railroaders, how are you? And it's nice to see a few people were popping in early. Going to talk about some scratch building tonight, maybe, if I can figure it all out. Get rid of these ads. No thanks. So we got Lynn McCurley. How are you doing tonight? First in the chat. And no, you didn't miss it, bud. And then we had Boxcar Jerry popping in. Wiggy Waggy, how's it going? And we scroll down a little bit, and then we get Digger Evans popping in from over the pond. Ralph Greenwood. And how come as soon as you start a live stream, that caboose just fell off? See that? That caboose just came off. Why? They've been going around like 3 laps. Start the live stream, and off comes the caboose. Whatever. All right. Artie, how are you doing, buddy? And we might just hear from him a little bit later. Ralph Greenwood, John number 2 from the Schuylkill River Valley. Nice to see you popping in. Scrolling on down, we got Dave, BNSF N Scale. Good evening, Sparky and all. How you doing, sir? And I almost feel like I'm a rookie. NS5107, and I like to say 107 Chazco. It's the only numbers I see, Chazco. Come on. And who else we got? We got Daniel Coombs popping in. Union Central System saying hi. Of course, somebody else said something. My whole chat just went floom, and it's gone. Adventures with Dex. How you doing, sir? Met you down at Strasbourg. What a good time that was. Oh, man. Telling you, loved it. Loved it. So, as you guys see, I want to talk about scratch building tonight. And we'll wait a little bit, get a few more people in here. We got 21 popping in. But we're going to bring Artie up right away just to say hi. Maybe. He's up. Can he talk? Lots of scratch building you've done, Artie?
Yeah, I can talk.
I know you can. I know you can.
There. Scratch
See, that's why. That's why you get no hair.
I've done some scratch building.
See, I haven't done any yet. I've too long putting this track plan together and stuff like that. Still got a lot of track to do and stuff, but I'm getting to the point where my top level is going to be done and scenic. So once I do that, I can start working on the main yard that I've got, and that's going to be basically, let's see if I can pop this up here. That's not what I wanted to show you guys at all. I want to put this building in. That should be a good first scratch build.
That looks fun. You want to? Have you done scratch building in the past, Sparky?
I have never even tried it.
I don't want to sound like a smart ass, but you might want to start with something simple.
No, I got to start right from the top and go for the kahunas, right? So this is a picture of the rail yard that I actually want to do. It's not showing the actual main passenger building, which would just be off to the right-hand side of that picture. But Walters does a kit that basically that building in the front.
Yeah.
So I've got that. Walters does the other kit, the engine shed. That's just there in the background on the right-hand side. So I've got that. But the car in the building in the back, that's a car shed. Now, in between those two buildings is a transfer table that goes the whole length of both those buildings.
Yeah.
I got the transfer table. I just got to put it in.
So you got it. I was after one of them.
But I'm going to try to do this building first. First ever scratch build. Jacob Smith, how are you doing, buddy? And we got Sidetrack 77 popping in. I am a glutton. I know. It's going to be crazy. There's a couple other people in here. We got Derail Dave popping in saying hi. Steve Childers, nice to see you. Yeah. And John 2618. Nobody else in the chat thinks I'm nuts for trying this. And Heath from Humanity Junction. Hello, model citizens and Sparky. So put it in the chat, guys. What do you think? Like my
They
first
just
scratch.
want to see you
Never done it.
fail.
Well, maybe so, but
They just
how hard can that be?
It
If
can be
anybody else,
challenging.
if anybody else in the chat has done scratch building, please come on up and share your experiences.
I've done scratch building I've done scratch building in the past, both buildings and I've also done locomotives and some cars as well. A friend of mine, a couple of friends of mine, they got me into it, and I'm glad in some ways, I'm glad that they taught me some of the techniques and get into scratch building, because with my current layout, let me see. I'll just change my screen.
Oh, I'm gonna have to share your screen too. This should be fun. Norfolk and Western Railroad man, nice to see you. Norman Rowe, Heath. I have a new nickname for you, the Questionnaire. No doubt. Guys, I do have two trains running in the background too, so keep an eye on them for me if you guys ever do get to see them again.
Like you see this building here that I got on my platform.
Gotta make you big.
That building there, I had to scratch build that one.
Okay, point again. Point at that again, Artie.
Okay, this little building here, I had to scratch build, and I scratch built it to because I was looking for a station building based on a country. In my
I didn't even notice that.
And they're just little shacks. Now there were kits available, but the awnings underneath here overhung too much. So I had to scratch my own to have it fit in there. Plus the kits were a little bit too wide.
I think that would be a little bit simpler of a scratch build than the one I'm about to try.
Yeah, well, it's got its ticket booth, it's got its benches inside, and it's got lights in it, and it's only a little. What's his name? Country town station. But when I start doing the next layout, not next layout, when I do the next level where the station is, the station will be scratch built.
Well, what I'm taking what I'm kind of basing this all on is, like, I know Mark Stewart from Stew's Structures. He's like a master scratch builder, but he can take a picture and just based off 5 pictures, he built my house. Now that's off measurements of like a typical door and windows and stuff like that. And this is about the only picture I can really find of this shop building. Now, what this building is car shops. So the big building that I showed you guys earlier, that was the engine shops. It had all the big cranes and stuff inside. And then you go across the transfer table, which you can just kind of see the flat area in front of the building there. That's the transfer table. And then all those doors on there, and I'm probably going to have maybe 8 just for selective compression type thing. But I figure if I try to build it in sections, it can't be really that difficult. Like it's going to be, obviously. I'm going to have to take my time with it. So.
Yeah, it can get a bit daunting too, especially if you're on a big structure and you haven't done it for a while. You're like, this is taking forever.
Well, it's going to take a while. I know that for a fact, but I've had this layout now for probably a year and a half, and I'm just getting to buildings and the top level being scenic anyway. So we can go from there. And
well, you've done more than me.
Well, layout wise,
You've done more than me. Mine's about the same age too. Yeah.
Humanity Junction, thanks for the $2, sir. And he says, I can't even scratch an itch, let alone a building. We got Joe Rader, Black Rock Central Railroad popping in, saying hi. Georgia Sunbelt, nice to see you, bud. And CP368 Productions popping in. So I've kind of been looking at the chat. Nobody says I'm crazy for starting to do it this way. So who knows?
We know you're crazy, but as I said, everybody here, for some reason, our little bunch here loves to see us fail.
Well, I'm
to a degree.
If you fail, you fail. It just means you try again. So another reason why so another reason why I'm going to try to do the scratch building thing is DJ came up to Canada, and we did that YouTube meet and greet at OVR Trains, and he had a whole. Oh, it was excellent. Chris did a fantastic job putting that on, and we did some rail fanning afterwards, and there was no trains, but we seen parked trains, so that works. Easier to climb on them if they're not moving. No, it was a great time. With DJ coming up, and he was selling some styrene sheets and stuff like that. So I said, okay, well, I want to pick some out, and I want to buy some. So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this real well or not, but I picked out 5 sheets from them, and they're all going to fall on the floor right now. So I got, they're a fair size sheet. Like, this is probably 2 feet by 1 foot. So I'm kind of hoping if I start with this and put doors in there, this will be the size of the building. This will be where all those car shop doors are. So that'll be this spot here, but obviously it's only going to be about yay high, right? So got lots left. No, you guys aren't going to be able to see the texture on this stuff at all, but this is little squares. So I got that one sheet. And then I got, this one's really flimsy. So someone will have to tell me, what do you use a really flimsy sheet of styrene for? Like, that's, I'm thinking the roof, but wouldn't the roof you'd want to be a lot sturdier, I guess? But this is long planks type thing. The train freaks popping in. Sparky, your beard can't be longer than Artie's. See if I can get this on. You guys are watching my trains, right? I can still hear him. There we go with the beard. And I know we had the super chat from Heath. I don't think I missed one. But hey, we'll throw that on anyway. Just because the black in the front matches the beard, so we're good. So that was 2 sheets that I got from him. And then I got
another one. You look like a Turkish bridesmaid now.
Yeah. I need a brush. That's what I really need. But for a brush for a wig, they got to be like really fine type thing. Yeah. So I got to go to an actual beauty salon to buy one. I'm not sure I want to step foot in one. So this is planks again too, just going across all the way. Again, you guys can't really see it, but it's a little thinner on the planks. So that's sheet number 3. And then I got 2 sheets of this. And again, you guys can't see it, but they're a lot thicker. Yeah, you guys can see that one almost.
Yeah.
So I got 2 sheets of that. So that's probably what I'll do for the, holy cow, that gets warm. These will probably be the walls of the main building type thing. Now, the building was brick, but I don't have brick. So I'm doing it out of wood planks. I want to start basically right from scratch. So I'm going to bring Lynn up here too and see what he's got to say first off about some scratch building. So Lynn, hopefully you're ready. Comb your beard.
I'm ready. I'm right here.
So what do you think?
I'm gonna change my camera here.
Sure, bud.
It can be done. I'm questioning about all the windows and things like that. Are you going to use a cookie cutter to cut out the windows, or are you going to freehand it? What's your idea?
I'm hopefully going to freehand it. I'm going to try to start with the doors down on the bottom. And like I said, it's probably only going to be 8 tracks wide. And they're round. You get one right, they're all going to be right. Making the doors, all whatever I cut out, hopefully I can use as the doors. And then the only other question I really got is the top peak. So that's probably the windows you're talking about up there.
Right.
They would have been open for ventilation and stuff like that. But again, it's a car shop. So how much smoke and stuff would they really have, right?
I'm wondering, you can get pre-made panels that are pretty close to that and would save you a lot of work, but that's up to you.
Whee! And we got trackside Mike popping in. Doing the old.
Well, what you guys are chatting?
I'm just throwing out
Well,
a super sticker out there,
chatting on
Artie, saying thanks to trackside Mike. And now you can talk. I'll shut up.
I've
Yeah, I'll
never,
just do some work here. I'm painting my turntable.
I've never tried anything as grand as what you're anticipating for a contest. I did a total scratch. This is made out of, you name it.
Yeah, it looks like popsicle sticks, some tin foil, plastic
Yep,
for windows.
The front of it is tree bark from the backyard.
Oh, right on.
And but this is small compared to your grand idea there. Rick Bailey sent me a kit, which I keep procrastinating because I want to do a video on it, and this would be too small to do a bunch of these, but you can get these basic parts and put it together to make your building that you want. I'm just thinking ease. But if you could do it yourself, that's like, ooh, that's, terrific. It can be done. And those thin sheets, all you got to do is brace it. Lots of bracing.
Yeah, but like I said, what would you use the thinner sheets for?
Oh, you could use it for the front. If it's braced, it would be easier to cut the windows.
Yeah, that is true.
Because I did one back here that literally drove me crazy trying to cut, because this one you had to cut the doors and windows. And I mean, it was literally sawing and hacking, and it was not easy. The finish came out good, but I wish it was a lot thinner material.
Yeah, you'll find with the thinner material, it's a lot easier to cut your windows and your doors. Because that's
I've been doing a whole series of little buildings out of scratch for a ghost town, but that's a whole nother subject. I even had to scratch build my own gunfighters. But,
oh, geez.
Got everything but the base.
Right on.
Anyway, I think your panels will work.
Yeah.
We just need to make a framework around them to hold them steady. And being thin, it'll be a lot easier to cut the doors and the windows.
I'm just making sure Jerry's awake before I bring him up. All right.
Now, I don't really have anything else to offer. I'm going to bow out and give you space for other people, okay?
Sure.
Hi, Jerry.
And then, what's up? Hey, everybody. So I'm just here to encourage you and give you, props and to say you can do it. Because if you take your time, lay it all out, get tools, get good tools, right? I think you can do it. But it's important to lay it all out and figure all that out. You know what I'm saying? Don't just have at it.
Yeah, well, for sure. This isn't something that you're just going to look at and say, okay, I'm going to take a measurement now. That's going to be like, say, 3 inches cut straight across. The doors are going to be a half an inch lower. So I'm just going to scratch. There's going to be some fine measuring skills involved in this stuff. Plus, doing a scratch build, I think you would have to take into consideration, like I said, a transfer table, plus the Walters kit that I'm using on the other side of the transfer table. So all those tracks are going to have to line up from one door to the next door, right? So
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's not just throwing it together and or cutting and pasting type thing. There's going to be some actual thought go into this, and like I said, this is the only picture I can really find. So
Yeah, so maybe what is just part the building that you're going to build? Is it the front and the long part, or just the long part?
the long part is the car shops.
Okay.
And they were passenger car shops, box cars, tank. Well, I don't know if they did tank cars, but back then, like this is way back in like 1920s, 1930s, right?
So who is this? What railroad?
This is Canada Southern.
Canada Southern.
Yeah, so Canada Southern, if I bring it back up, they had their main yard in St. Thomas, Ontario. And that was basically the middle point in between, say, Windsor and Niagara Falls. So Detroit and New York type thing, right? And Buffalo or something like that. But if you take a look at that picture there in the yellow square, how kind of condensed it really was. But the car shop's in the back.
Oh yeah, I see it back there. Yeah.
And it's the only thing in between those two shops is that transfer table. That's it.
So you may be able to find more pictures of it if you check with a technical society. I don't know if that railroad had a technical society. Maybe you can find more pictures of it.
The Elgin County Railway Museum.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might just give them a call and see if they're going to be open and swing by them. They should have tons of pictures of this kind of stuff, right? So.
Yep, sure. Yeah, I mean, if it's not something you're going to buy your plastic, buy your tools tomorrow and start building it. You're going to do your homework and get all your ducks in a row and then go at it. At least that's how I would do it. And I've never scratch built any models, but to me, it's no different than taking a picture of a piece of furniture and making that piece of furniture for somebody.
Yeah, and you got to make it all by specs. If it's a chair, it's got to be a certain height and everything else. So,
So I mean, there's common sense things, but that's all, man. I just wanted to say you can do it.
Well, thank you very much. I'm certainly going to give it my 100% go of it anyway. So
it'll be fun, and you can probably get things from like Titsy Group, like windows and doors, and get them all ready, and then lay them all out and help you figure everything out even easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Now I'm going to depend on the chat quite a bit here. And like I said, this is my first scratch build. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out in the chat that have never scratch built anything.
I've never done it. So, I mean, but I mean, I wouldn't try that, but I mean,
yeah.
But anything's possible.
Saying hi to a couple more people. We got What the Fuck Mike, Rain Miller popping in, Mystic, Southern Railway. Nice to see you, buddy.
All right, I'm going to drop out.
I only read the names, guys.
All right. Let somebody else come on.
All right. Thanks, Jerry.
All right. No problem. See ya.
Randall Ellison popping in. Lehigh River Subdivision. So again, if anybody out there has done scratch building and stuff like that with styrene and done a building, because I know Nathan would just be chomping at the bit to get up here. But I got some basic questions for you guys. Starting out with styrene, obviously I want a sharp blade, probably little kit that you can get with blades and stuff you can change. Now I've got one of those. I've got an air compressor and a little air gun thing. That's all good and stuff. But what about glue? So in the chat for doing styrene, and like I said, it's just the styrene sheets. You guys have all used it if you've done the scratch building and stuff. What kind of glue would you use on that? Because obviously you don't want big globs of glue like the stuff I use. It's just that red Testors glue, mostly for my Walters kits. So obviously you don't want to do that. And wow, this is really quiet with you muted, Artie. Oh, geez. So yeah, guys, throw it up in the chat if you're doing that kind of stuff. What glue you would use. And we got Fultz Bailey Model Railroad popping in saying hi. And I'll show the building again. And we'll see if we can even make that full screen for everybody. Loctite 401. Oh, boy. BNSF Model Masters. See, Vinny, you should be up here giving me all these pointers. So I put the link in the chat, guy, if you want to come up, my brother, because you are a master also of scratch building. And this is going to be my first scratch build that I'm going to need some coaching, obviously. So Drew Dudes Model Trains, Plastic Weld, and Calder Experts, Faller Expert. That's from Georgia Sunbelt. That'll be cool. Mr. Bictivid, how are you doing? It's always the quiet ones you have to worry about. Yeah, I know. And I do worry about Artie. Never know when he wants to pop in. So yeah, Vinny, if you can pop up, come on up, bud. I'll post it again in the chat. Another book that I do have, like I said, the online stuff is good, but I can't find much. Maybe you should start out small. Dwight, I figured a lot of people are going to be saying that, but small or big, does it really matter? It's all the same thing. Like you're making the walls, making measurements, cutting what you need, putting the roof on. And I figure if I do it in sections, because the building at the end is more of an office building. So, and the one at the far end, I'll probably leave off because the back end matches the front end. So I don't think I really need to go that extensive, but again, there's the same picture, but it's in my book, which is probably really, really fuzzy because of the camera. Another picture of the rail yard. Again, really, really fuzzy. But hopefully it shows up. And then I'm really small anyway, so let's probably remove that. And there, now I'll try to show you guys the book.
I didn't know you knew how to read that, Sparky.
I'm just looking at the pictures already. And this is two pictures. The top one's from August 1934. And then the bottom picture's kind of more of what I remember when I was growing up, but it says 1960. Now, I was there in the 1980s and some of the 90s. So there's the first. This is the whole yard of St. Thomas. So you can see it had the turntable, roundhouse, a lot of stalls. Obviously, I'm only going to have 8 stalls, I think. Kind of see the transfer table, the 2 buildings, and then the bottom one really changed it quite a bit. So I got my work cut out for me. That is for sure. So now
it's just a shame that a friend of mine is not well anymore. I was speaking to him on the weekend in regards to motor building and that, and he's just not able to do it anymore. He ended up going in for an operation and had a big, massive heart attack, and his just ability is not there anymore.
Yeah.
But he done some amazing work.
So I'm going to bring up the cuz, and I'm going to bring up Nathan DeLay.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, one at a time, though. Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, and I can hear you.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Okay, now, Nathan, you
Yes.
scratch locomotives and stuff like that, but have you done buildings and things?
I done very little buildings, but I guess it makes sense to make some out of soda cans. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I should do.
And you are one person I do want to ask this one question to is what got you started in scratch building?
It started off as a certain British train that I wanted for a very long time since middle school. And then And then for many years, I didn't get the model. And then eventually I just said, okay, fine, I'll just build a model and find a Thomson Reuters Gordon. And that's actually what it's based off of. And so I built the model, and then I thought, oh, I got to do more of this. If I do more, I'll get better at it. I guess is the result.
And you definitely got better at it. Now, just looking in the chat there, and I even forgot this point, and Vinny, you do this, but Mini Print says if you build a scale mock-up of it out of cardboard, you work out all the problems first, even before you wreck a piece of styrene.
Yes, I do that all the time. If you guys watch my scratch build videos, I do all the time cardstock buildup.
Yeah.
And I leave it sitting on a bench somewhere. And every time I walk past it, I say, okay, I need to change that, or I need to change that, or it looks good, or whatever. Once I'm satisfied with the mock-up, then I'll start cutting up some plastic. Now, you had asked earlier what glue you should use with styrene. My two that I go to all the time are these two, which is Model Masters and the Baller. Now, the Model Masters gives you about 5 seconds of work time. This gives you about 10 seconds work time. So when you put it on there, you need to make sure that you're pretty close and and do it. Most important thing is your measurements and your cuts. Those are the most important things. And there's a place on Google you can go to. You can actually get measurements of the building. As far as the footprint goes, that's how I'm building Roy Eltham's building.
Yeah. Well, like that one picture did show, this is from Nathan. You got to mute, buddy, if you're going to be moving stuff around.
I'm sorry.
That was really loud. But no, this building's been long but gone. Like, it was one of the first buildings they tore down once they went to the steam or the diesel era, right?
So there wouldn't be any Google stuff on it then.
There's not a thing about this building, basically. It's, like I said, I've found 2 pictures in that book, and the one picture is actually up on the screen. So
are you going to build it? I thought you already had one built already. Did you have the station built already?
The station's built, which I can show you guys. Add that to the stream. So that's my station, and that's basically how I have got it built. Is in the late 1980s, early 1990s. The awning was gone off the front of it, and some of the windows and doors are boarded up, but it was still used. Conrail still used this for one of their big offices. So that building here, like I said, was way back in the back. The transfer table's still there. So I could go and actually get the footprint of how big the building is. But again, I can only make it as big as the Walters kit that I've got.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it depends on how close to scale you want to go, or how close to prototype you want to go.
Well, also depends on
available room.
Exactly. And
I know.
yeah, and like, this isn't a small rail yard whatsoever.
You got all the room in the world there, Sparky.
What was that, Artie?
I said you got all the room in the world there.
Well, no, I've only got 4 feet across, so
One would think.
That room shrinks up really quick as soon as you start putting stuff on it.
Yeah, the more ideas you have, the feel like the less space you have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, with the turntable, and then I got the 8-stall roundhouse behind that, transfer table, the Walters engine shed, which is six stalls across. So this is only going to be a car shop, so it only really, I think, has to be about 8 inches, 9 inches long. And then, of course, the building, the office building, I'm going to put at one end of it. It's going to be a little bit bigger, but not much. So, and again, I'm taking from Mark Stewart what he says. Like, if you do the door that's on the front of that building, you can basically know the dimensions of a door, which scales down to the windows, which basically gives you the size of the building.
Yes, you can do it that way. I don't know how. I've never done it that way, and to be honest with you, this is the first time I've ever taken something off of Google to get sizes, measurements for me to do.
Yeah.
Other than that, I just eyeball stuff. Like if I see, let's say if I see a freight house and there's a freight car, like a 50-foot freight car, is parked next to it, and I know that you can get another one in there. So now I know that that building's 100 feet long.
Yeah, that's another way to do it, I guess. Use the cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So starting with a scratch build like that, taking it from a picture, I again, like I said, I forgot. Do the mock-up. That's got to be the biggest thing you can do. And if you do it to scale, that's got to be a big help. And you're only using tape then, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes when I scratch it, I think like, how am I gonna build this? Like, how do I know to do this or curve that or yada yada yada? And then it grows from there.
Yeah. And you got to pick a starting point. That's something else I'm kind of looking at too. So would you start with the building on the end that's the offices, or because it's the car shops I want? So obviously you'd start with that, right?
Well, I would start with what you want to see how much available room you got after you build that one. That'll determine how much room you'll have for your office section.
And he's saying that I should contact Mark Stewart too. He could probably give me quite a few pointers.
Yeah,
That's true.
probably.
He said he's a master at whatever he does. And watching his channel, he has built every structure out there that he's got, and they're all different sizes. So
yeah.
But so what do you think for a first build? Am I crazy?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna get Jerry.
What I tell everybody when they want to do a scratch build, what I tell them to do is make a building with small 4 walls and a roof, and that's it. Get to know how to do that and cut out your doors and your windows.
Or you could do like sorry.
No, go ahead, Nathan.
This is a good example of a similar idea. Like this had no cab originally, and it's a dummy unit anyway. But what I did was I do it. Vinny said is like build the walls and then try to curve the roof as best you can. That's after a good start. Partly scratch point a locomotive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that would work. I was going to say something. It completely slipped my mind now. Oh, well.
I guess it happens.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I'm looking at with that building, too, like I said, is the top part of it. Because the roof goes up, and then it's got that extra part with the windows that they used to open for ventilation, right? So
intriguing.
But again, doing the cardboard cutout, then get that all cut out and sized up, make all my mistakes that way. It's perfect. So
that's where you're going to make your mistakes. And I'll tell you what, even though you do it on cardboard and you start transferring that all to plastic, when you start working with the plastic, it winds up to be a little bit different. So you're going to have to make adjustments as you go along.
For sure. And even Mystic Southern Railway is doing the same thing. He's done mock-ups with cheap, free cardboard and Scotch tape. So
a lot of people use like cereal boxes. I've seen a lot of guys say, yeah, I did this mock-up with cereal boxes. And, that's cheap. If you buy cereal, you're going to have the cardboard there, Yeah.
And I do go through a lot of cereal. So like my
honey nut
Cheerios. Like my honey nut Cheerios. So
honey nut Cheerios. You got me hooked on them.
So, there you go. And they're good for your cholesterol. So there you go. Try Googling. Nice to see you, buddy. And Joe Raider Black Rock saying make a doghouse. So that's what I was just thinking. Mark Stewart did my house, and everybody's always said I need my train shed behind it. Well, that's 4 walls and a roof.
There you go. That's what you should do. You should build your train shed.
So yeah, maybe next live stream I'm going to actually try to do my train shed.
Because you know the measurements of it already. So yeah, that would be pretty easy for you.
Yeah, and I do have the ruler that does the measurements and everything else too. So get some cardboard out here and actually do that live next time that I'm live in 2 weeks.
There you go.
See how it goes. Hey, if I can do that, I can do anything, right?
Hey, David, let me say hello to everybody. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Sorry I had to say hello when I first came on, but I got hit with some questions. So how's everybody doing?
Well, like you said, I think
doing the scratch build.
What's
How
that?
you doing, Nathan?
Say that again, Vinny.
Say
that again. Okay.
Sorry.
Say hello again.
You say what you're going to say again.
Oh, I was just going to say hello to everybody, and that's it.
Oh, I thought you said
the question I had was what sparked you to get into scratch building?
Like I said, DJ came down here and he had a car full of the styrene, and he was selling it out of his trunk. And I said, you know what? And they were like, it's a 2 foot by 1 foot section.
Right.
And that
That's
was
what I
one of
buy
my,
all the time.
yeah. So that was one of my big thoughts on doing the building so large is how would you do smaller sheets and put it together to make it look like one sheet?
Right.
So if I can do it with one sheet, then half of it's licked right there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and it's also going to be a lot harder for you to work on a 24-inch sheet of plastic.
Why?
Because it's going to be cumbersome. To make your measurements and to make your cuts, you're going to have to keep turning things around. That's a big chunk of plastic to be turning around on your workbench.
Yeah, I mean, take your time. It should be okay. Oh, sure. Blame DJ. No, so like I said, him selling it like that and stuff like that, and I've never done it. If I want to do this as prototypical as I want to do it, which is kind of proto freelance because I'm mixing all the errors up basically. So
Heath wants to know if you're definitely considering the plastic, or would you try doing wood?
I think I would keep it with the plastic.
I think to build something like that would be a little bit harder to do with wood.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. But then again, I don't know because I don't work with wood. I work with plastic. If you want to find something out about wood, you got to see Ron from New Haven Rails.
Yeah, true.
Oh, this is a good example of wood. I didn't really make this. Somebody else did when I bought it this way.
That's
I
nice.
have several buildings somewhere buried in there.
And we got Manny Fernandez, $5 soup sticker. Thank you, buddy. Maybe I'll use that to buy some of that glue. Yeah, obviously. So, Vinny, doing scratch building with the styrene and stuff, what are some of everybody here is just getting started. So what do we need to go out and buy?
Well, you need to buy your windows and doors. Because you need to, if you're going to start building, you need to consider that at the very beginning when the plastic is not built into 4 walls, when it's still flat on your table, so you'll be able to cut the windows and doors out. Teaching Group and Grant Line are the 2 places you can buy windows and doors. And I think they both carry HO. I know Teaching Group does HO for sure. I'm not sure about Grant Line. But yeah, that's where you get your windows and doors, and they come in a pack of like 4 or 5 in a pack, and it's cheap. They're like $5 or something like that. So you could buy, I don't know how many windows are in there. It looked like there was a lot of windows in there. So I would just start small, start your basic stuff out with your windows and doors, place them on there, because that's another thing you got to do is you got to place your windows and space them out.
Yeah.
That they all fit, And like I said earlier, you're probably going to have to make some adjustments. You might not be able to make it as long as you want or get as many windows as you want. So you got to be on the lookout for that kind of stuff.
Well, I guess for me, how I did SodaCam first is like I did random projects that had nothing to do with trains, and then then I feel like I gotta make my dream model train, the first one, and then I guess what I'm trying to say is start from what you know, and you can grow from there. I guess I already said that.
No, all good points. Like I said, if we take it, like I said, I haven't done them before, so any tips and tricks and tools and stuff that I need is obviously.
Well, I heard you mention already that you need a hobby knife and get a bunch of blades. Go on Amazon and buy 100 pack of blades, because you're going to be changing blades quite often.
I guess also, I think in my opinion, people do similar ideas or similar techniques that might not be the same idea of same way of building, but I guess that's my opinion.
Yeah, so I went on Amazon, I got that.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
Nice.
So there's a lot of blades in here, Vinny.
Yeah, probably the most blades, the blade you're going to use the most of is the number 11.
That's what I was going to ask you, is what blade would you normally get?
Number 11 would be the one that would be most common to use for cutting plastic.
Where's the numbers on it?
The blade should be replaceable.
Oh, hey, that says number 11.
Yeah,
that's the correct one.
Hey, first one I grabbed.
And a thing to remember is when you're cutting your plastic, try not to go off the plastic and onto your mat.
Yeah.
because that will break the point off of your knife. And what you want most is the point, because that's what's going to do your cutting when you do your windows and doors.
Now, with a thicker styrene, obviously, you'd have to go over it lightly and then back and
Yeah.
forth and take your time doing
Always
that.
make the knife do the work. Just put a little pressure on it, and as you get deeper into the plastic, then you can start pushing more plastic. Now, I would recommend, if you're going to do a building for that size, I would recommend probably a 40 thousandths, and I don't know what that equals to in millimeters. It's probably 2 millimeters.
Mm.
If you're going to do something smaller, you can go down to like a 30 thousandths, but don't go any smaller than a 30 thousandths or 0.030.
Makes sense. But I like the cardboard cutout idea first, so we'll see
Yeah,
that. And like I said,
definitely.
doing this shed, that's going to be a good way to get started first
Yep.
too. So
Yep.
now,
I
what
think
about?
another? Sorry.
I was going to say, what about corner bracing and stuff like that?
Well, the thicker you go with plastic, and I tried to explain this to somebody who was doing a scratch build. If you go thick on the plastic, like with the 40 thousandths, you really don't have to use any corner supports because the plastic is thick enough to give you enough gluing surface. But if you move down to the 30 thousandths, then I would do what I use for corner bracing is a evergreen number 175. It's a square piece of styrene, and that's what I use in the corner to support my corners.
Obviously, I've got quite a bit of shopping to do first.
Yeah.
I'm going to try this on my live stream, so I've got some time to buy some of this stuff anyway. So
Yeah. To be
Well,
honest, I might.
Can I mention
sorry.
what's going on with me on Friday?
sure.
We got finally everybody is going to be getting together to do the build that Brian from
Iron
Denver
Horse.
Rio Grande Iron Horse route.
Yep.
We're going to do his diner build this Friday, and there's going to be 6 of us doing it.
Awesome. Yeah, I think he's sending me a kit too. It's in the mail, and it's
Yeah, he told me that you want to do that build. It's the ski resort or something.
Yeah, that's the one he's sending me. So
Yeah, he says he's going to send me one too, and then you and I and he can do that build also.
hey, that's perfect. I can wait for you.
Uh,
Okay, go ahead, Nathan.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, I guess I might be a hypocrite if I say take some criticism, like for example, like let's say you build this wonderful scratch build train, and people say, like I wouldn't take criticism, like say, oh, that looks terrible. Like say you can like build the metal better or like change some colors, yada yada. But that's how far I'll go.
Yeah, and no, this community is really good for that, and I'm really hoping people are honest with me about what I'm about to do.
Brian says it's called an outpost.
Yeah.
I guess what's in between me and Vinny is I don't do hardly any measuring. I just like eyeball things, and that's really how I. Yeah.
And like I said, the thing with my build that I'm gonna do is the picture's basically a thought. That is the base print of it, but obviously I'm gonna have to take it down, make it the size that fits. And like I was saying already, I got to line it up with all the tracks that line up.
Are you going to put this in the same area as your station?
Yeah.
So why don't you compare the size to the station? You know what I'm saying? Like make it so it would fit with the station, but not as big as you want to make it. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, hold on. Let's show this again. Okay, so you see that yellow picture?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that the building in the back right of that is, we'll say, is the Walters engine shed. But mine is too big, so it's 6 stalls. Now, the other building in the front is the Walters kit also. That's the freight house that they do.
Okay.
I've got that. And basing those 2 buildings itself, looking at that building in the back. So I'm kind of basing it off that. Like I said, my car shop in the back, I'm hoping will match. There, see that? So if I do that the same size as the Walters kits, it'll only be 6 stalls across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll only go to here.
Uh,
Maybe a couple more at the end, depending on how big it is. And then the building on the end of it, right?
so, is that what you want to scratch build right there?
That's it. That's the car shops.
Okay.
Do you mean the long part of the building or the front part of the building?
Well, the long part of the building's the car shops. That's the part I do want.
Oh, I see.
Obviously, to be prototypical for the era, I have to put the office on it too, right? Now,
If you're a prototype era, yes. If
Yeah.
you're era specific, yes.
Yeah, and that looks pretty simple. That's just a little bit bigger than my shed.
I think I have an idea how that can work easily. Like if you're like an artist or a computer sketch or whatever, like draw it out first and then print it out and then copy and paste but on real materials.
Yeah, there's people that do that with their layouts, where they would do a 1-to-1 drawing of the track plan, and they would go ahead and print it out, and they would paste it on their sub road bed, and they lay the track right on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do it that way too, but I'm more of a just lay it and see if it'll work.
Hey, but if you need help, I don't charge very much, so just give me a call.
Yeah, I guess I'm more in the middle between I rather go for works and use my imagination, but that's pretty much about it.
Well, the whole thing that I'm looking at too, like Walters does some good kits. There's a few companies coming out or that are out there, wood kits and stuff like that. Sure, they're nice and everything, but if you really start looking around, there's a lot of things that are original that you just want to make yourself. So
pretty much
everything on my layout is original to the area.
Which kind of brings me to the base question with you on here, cuz, is what got you started in the scratch building? Now I already know, but a few people probably don't. So
well, when I first started on YouTube, I belonged to another group. It was called I even forgot the name. Anyhow, the leader of the group, this guy Mike, forced me to do a build, which I've never done before, on video live. And I don't even remember what I built, but that's how I got started with the scratch builds. And then before I bought this house, I actually scratch built my Smith pipe and steel, because I knew that this house, I was already in contract with this house and blah, 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 blah. And I knew that it was going to be part of the layout. So I started building that before I even moved into this house. But a lot of thing on the scratch building is, like you said earlier, if you can't find a kit, then you have to scratch build. If you want that building, that structure on your layout, you got to scratch build it.
I guess for me is in my opinion, is do what's comfortable for you. And like for example, I guess steampunk, you could literally just put anything, whatever objects you want. That's how I roll. But
yeah, so Nathan, that's something different for you though too, right? You started with the Thomas stuff, like you said, and went that, and now you're into the steampunk. So you've expanded.
Yeah, actually, I guess that's a similar thing of inspiration. Some people know Lori Calver. That's why I'm kind of into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's looking pretty good, Artie.
I muted him.
It looks like one whole color. No, it looks like there's no marks on it. Not trying to sound me about that, but I'm saying it looks that good.
Yeah. So like I was saying, like you said, take criticism and stuff like that. But with this group and community that we've got, Nathan, I don't think there's too many people out there that are going to say it looks like shit. Why are you even trying? So I'm not trying something basic. I know that. I know it's not going to be perfect right off the bat. It's going to take some trying and some attempts. And this group, like I said, I think is pretty good at giving criticism constructively. So if I screw up something and I'm not quite sure on it, and we've all done it. We've all had the live stream, or you look in the chat, they're talking about something completely different. Like somebody's NCE system's not working and the whole chat just lights right up on how to fix it. And like I said, the chat's good for that. This community is good for that. So,
Mhm.
and again, I'm thinking about, okay, my first scratch build. How am I going to figure out how to do that? Well, this is the easiest way to do it. Get Vinny up here, talk to Mark, Nathan, Artie, the communities in the chat. Everybody can work together on how to get it. And I know there's a lot of people out there that have not done scratch building, but they're looking at things going, I'd love to try to do that, but it's just too hard, or I couldn't do it if I tried. So why would I even try? Well, the thing is, try it.
Do you know how I learned to do a lot of stuff on scratch building? Is by watching, and you're gonna think this is crazy, but I used to watch a lot of those home improvement shows on TV.
Oh, that I see where this is going. This is
And watch how they would build a house. So my builds are built pretty much the way you build a house. I start with a foundation, I do the walls, and then I do the roof. Exactly how a house is built.
Intriguing.
And it makes sense. If the house stands up, obviously a scratch build's going to. So
Really?
Thomas Grassy saying, Sparky, how are you going to make the parts? I am currently building a local weld shop on my 3D printer. Is that scratch building? Well, of course that's scratch building. You're making all the parts by
That's
yourself.
a form
You're
of
just,
scratch building.
Yeah, I think if it's literally from nothing, that's basically scratch building.
yeah, and a lot of people like Brian does that. That's how his kits are all made. They're 3D printed, but he built them himself
It's
first.
the concept. It's the concept
Right.
that he came up with the idea and how to build, what it's going to look like, and then he proceeded from there. And like Nathan said earlier, sometimes it pays off to even draw it out first, not to go to the extent that Nathan was saying, but at least draw it out on paper, the size that you want to make it, and scale all the windows and doors in there, and see if it's actually going to work for you.
And that might
Before
make
before you even go to the cardboard.
well, yeah. But looking at the top of that building, like I said, you got the walls, the roof, and then it's got the double peak on the top, right? So
Yeah, and that's not hard to do. I've done a couple of builds like with that type of roof, so it's not hard to build.
well, I have to go back and check your videos for that.
Well, I guess. Sorry. I guess for me and my. Sorry, what?
Go ahead, Nathan.
Anyway, I guess it'll come to me. Let's see. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. So Asheville Train Man saying, Sparky, didn't you scratch build a very long building a long time ago? No, that was a wood kit. It was a laser art kit, I believe. Number 7. There's only 7 of those kits made ever. Now there's 8 because somebody else has actually taken pieces of mine and built another one. But building your
Well, this is more of my opinion, but I guess I would, for me, my opinion is preferring scratch building, because what if, like, let's say all the kits and companies went out bankrupt or whatever, and basically all you have to do is use what you have or just scratch build completely. I think that's should be a backup. I think that like I said, that's my opinion.
Yeah, if I
That
look
is one awesome build.
yeah, so if
I agree.
I look at the end of this building and then the end of that picture that I got, it's almost the same size, just of the office building that's on the end of that. So,
yeah, that's a very awesome, intriguing building.
yeah, this is a wood kit.
You mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but did he make it on the computer then designed as his own kit? Or am I wrong about that?
No, that is the actual station that Sparky's talking about that he wants to do the area in the St. Thomas Yard. That is the prototype station that is there.
Yeah,
and it is built to scale. Correct, Sparky?
yes, it is.
Yeah. So that's why it's about 5. I think it's 5 feet long.
Just over 5 feet. Yeah, the owner of Laser Art, way back, the original owner, was a big fan of the St. Thomas station too. So he made actually all these buildings already out of wood. Awesome. So, and he's even got this building, but he's never sold this building that I'm talking about doing. And that kit there of my station, like I said, that was the actual 7th build that he actually printed out. And he only made them for museums and stuff like that, basically. There's 2 in the States, 2 in St. Thomas, 1 at his place, 1 here, and 1 somewhere else. So, but yeah, that's a good way to start, is taking measurements off that for the doors and the windows, because obviously being in the same era, the building, the doors are going to be the same as on the station. So
Actually, I think that if you can replicate what you see there, except putting archways and putting your stalls in there, I think that that building would probably be easily done, except for the roof.
yeah, and the roof is, well,
And like I said, the roof is not that hard to do.
makes sense with cardboard for sure. So if there's two buildings that I would like to take a crack at scratch building, it would be the depot at Thayer and a depot at Mammoth Springs, Arkansas, and that's Randall. And try Googling saying that thing is humongous compared to N scale. Well, yeah, but even in N scale, that would be probably 2.5 feet long. So
Yeah.
I guess
And-
another. Sorry.
well, I was just looking there. Mini Prince was saying, have you reached out at Nick at ITLA? And Mini Prince, Nick, the owner of ITLA, was actually, that company was Laser Art, and he bought it from them. So he does have all the prints and stuff and all the whatever you put into a woodcutter, laser cutter type thing. He's got all that stuff. So, but I'm pretty sure that file for that building never went with it. So,
I don't know if this is helpful, but I guess another easy way to look at scratch building in a different way is like looking at how they build boats, models, or planes, yada yada yada, to give like a fresh perspective. Like maybe I could build this differently, and yeah.
how much detail would you add? Just the overall design, or would you try to get down to the nitty gritty details? Well, looking at, like I said, I don't have any real pictures of that. Going to the Elgin County Railroad Museum might be a smart move to do, to see if they've got better pictures of this building. But for right now, there's no real details to add. I just know it was made out of brick. So
I remember Ben from Craverville saying when he did a live stream, he literally said that he did his mock-ups first and then he built over them. So I guess like if you want to do like some modifications, like, oh, this looks terrible, you can just either get rid of it or modify it.
yeah, for sure. The mock-up is a smart idea, and that's going to take quite a bit of time too. So
Now, when you do your mock-up, you don't need to cut all the windows and doors. Just draw them on the mock-up.
yeah, for sure.
Because I mean that'd be crazy. I mean, I another thing you should get is also that because you're HO and because your windows and doors will be big enough, you should get that nibbler. I showed it lots of times on my scratch builds,
Yeah.
but it'll work perfect for you because of the size of the windows. For me, it's a little difficult for me to use because I just can't get into a small window, you know.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
but that would definitely save your fingers and your thumbs and your hands and your knife blades and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think you got that on your Amazon page too, right?
Yeah, it's there. It's like $13 or $15.
Yeah. So 110 here. Okay, guys. Any real questions in the? I shouldn't say any real
Well,
questions.
I know-
But any chats. Oh, hi, Artie. How are you?
How's it coming along with the project?
Oh, sorry, I thought you had me muted, so I
I
noticed
did,
it was
but
me.
you're talking now.
There's two techniques that I used. One with my locomotive. Is you use that A4 sticky paper, get the drawing off it and put it on that, and then transfer it onto the actual sheet of plastic. But if you want to get a good idea of size of the building that you're constructing, try use, if you've got Lego at home, use Lego. That's what I've done in the past. I actually use Lego to get the size of the structure.
Yeah, I think model trains is expensive enough. I'm not going to get into Lego too.
Yeah, I guess I
You can just buy
Not
a basic Lego kit. I mean, what Artie's saying is a good idea. You could actually make a mock-up of the size and everything with the Legos.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I guess I prefer.
And you can use it for scenery later on down the track too.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess I would prefer my scratch building just in case. Like, like to give you a good example, it's like saying like common sense, where like it's better off to buy your own food than it is to go to a restaurant, if you know what I mean by the concept.
And just saying hi to Try Googling, and we got Creepy013 and Rail Artist popping in saying hi. I'm sure there's quite a few people I missed, so getting into this. Like I said, if anybody's got any questions about scratch building and getting started, now would be a good time to throw them in the chat. And after that, we'll take a couple questions anyway if people got some. And then I'm going to watch the replay and make a list of a bunch of stuff I got to buy and lots of number 11 blades, apparently.
Steel ruler is good to have because that's how you'll get your most straight and accurate cuts.
Yeah, so I got that meter stick is hanging right behind me beside the door.
Yeah, but a meter stick is kind of big.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's a metal one.
Yeah.
And then upstairs I've got the scale metal ruler. It's got head scale HO&O on it. So
I'm not pushing my stuff on Amazon, but there's a kit on Amazon. It's got 4 of these in there. One of them is a 14-inch ruler, which I've never seen a 14-inch ruler before. But yeah, it's got the 14, the 12, 8, and a 6. It's got 4 rulers in there for like $8 or something like that. I bought them just to have the extra rulers in. They're all metal, and they are metric.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. What color did you use for the turntable pit there, Artie? Looks like white.
It looks great to me.
It's unbleached titanium.
Is that some kind of metal?
From Schuylkill. Yeah, it's John from Schuylkill River. Gave me the color the other day on his stream on his Sidetrack Sunday.
Well, he's the one asking the question, so
yeah, he's the one who's asking the question.
I guess he's
that's
just
the color that that's the color I'm using, the one that you used on your model there, John. So I shouldn't leave it alone or let it dry, eh? Just
I
make
got
a mess
Ralph
of it.
in the chat saying got a caliper. Now, thinking of a caliper, isn't that one of those little things with little 2 hooks on it that go back and forth?
Hey, Mills.
So I don't even know what a caliper is, so I can't say if I got one.
Let me change my camera.
Yeah, I guess for me, like if you do trial and error, you could do all sorts of things you thought you would never do, or might look different than like, yeah.
Square.
That's the color I
good
used.
for you to have, Sparky.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
Do you have a caliper?
Yeah.
I do, but not here, not in this room.
Oh,
I'd
I'll
have,
never
to go
know
look for,
what it
I'd
is.
have to go look for it, but I do have one.
Or I got a different idea.
What?
You know those art thingies where the circles are, they can draw around them?
Stencils.
Yeah, I guess those might be a little easier, in my opinion.
I don't think there's too many circles in that build.
Oh, I guess you mean from small to biggest?
Yeah.
Different size squares, so you have, enough to go across a piece of plastic to make your squares cut.
Yeah, so that brings me to another thought then. I'm going to have to get those metal bricks that you guys got.
Yes, you need to have those. Those are good to have for weight.
And I was thinking about the metal tray, but the metal tray won't be big enough.
No, it will not be big enough. I was going to say that, and I had to think about it. Wait a minute, it's not going to fit. Some of my stuff don't even fit.
Yeah, I guess what's good about scratch building is that if you do the one building or whatever, it's like it's on yours. There's nothing else like it. Not just for me, but for other people.
Yeah,
Just
for sure.
getting back to those Legos that they were talking about earlier, you can actually use those to make your corners square also.
Yeah, I was thinking of that when you said it.
Yeah.
Because you can do an inside corner, you can do an outside corner, you can do both corners. So that's great. You can also use the 1, 2, 3 blocks,
and you can use your use your clips as well. Like I'd use
Yeah, I got quite a
The
few of those.
paper clips.
Paper
Yeah,
clip.
clip
Yeah.
onto the. You clip that onto the Lego, and that's your frame, and it holds it into place.
Mine's
I mean,
bigger than
Lego's
yours.
pretty cheap, and a lot of times you can find it even at flea markets. Yeah,
Oh,
Mine's
or
bigger than yours is already.
yeah.
I guess if you don't have any of that, if you're limited, you could use like maybe a shove or something, and like let's say you're having a piece of paper here, you can just put whatever that's heavy on here and
Yeah.
do a good angle.
So Derailed Daryl is saying, all right, Artie, are you actually done painting the flying saucer yet?
I just saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, Artie, are there any other projects you've been working on? I was just
Yeah,
curious.
for now.
Manny,
Well, my next project, once I find them, is my next project is going to be to put the lights on the coal tower. That's my
That's
next
first
little
aid
project
kit.
I'm going to try to do. I've got to find them.
Well,
I'll
you
put them
can,
somewhere safe.
I know for a fact, like somewhere or two, or maybe after or two, like in England, I watched so many YouTube videos where like they were so many people were so limited, and then there was a lot of like success, like you could do so much with materials and locomotives, then it becomes something incredible.
You see, there's a link put up there for getting a
Oh, you can
caliper,
use
so I
all
can
sorts
actually
of
see
things.
what they are.
I agree with Heath on the solid blocks rather than the ones with the holes. I made the mistake of buying all the ones with the holes in them. I should have bought some of the solid ones. They are also referred to as machinist blocks, Sparky.
Okay. Yeah, he's added a link for those too, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
But what's wrong with the ones that got holes in them?
There's nothing wrong with them. I just thought I should have had a couple of the solid ones. I mean, the weight I think is probably going to be more with the solid ones than the ones with the holes. They are the same exact size. That's why they're called 1, 2, 3 blocks. It's 1 inch by 2 inch by 3 inch is what it is.
Right. Okay.
But I think the weight with the solid one is a little bit more heavy because there's less, there's more material.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that. I'm just guessing.
Okay. So what about those magnetic blocks too? For corners.
Yes, I have those also.
So would that be good for the 2 mil?
Yeah.
Would it? Okay. And they work really good at keeping corners plumb.
Yes. And
Straight.
they're kind of cumbersome to work with, but once you get it hooked up, they work okay. Now for those, you're gonna have to make sure when you buy your glue to make sure it has a good tip on it. Like this has got the metal tip on it. I don't think they're making those anymore.
Okay.
But the Fowler has the metal tip also. So when you use those corner clamps, you're gonna have to use something with a metal tip so you can get in there and put the glue in the corner.
Right.
Now, another thing is another good product, a tool for you to have is one of these. I think a lot of guys must have seen this before. This is called the Easy Flow. Let me show you if I can get it out of here real quick. This has got a glass tube on it, right? Okay. And at the very end is very, very fine needle. I don't know if you could see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what you do is you got this bottle right here. Now you can use the stuff that comes with it, which is a solvent base. You can also use this Plastrux stuff.
I got some of that.
So what you do is you take this and you got this little squeeze bottle that comes in the kit, and you take your glass tube and it's got a little dealy-mabob on there that you can put the glass tip on, right? And you need to be real careful because this glass will break real easy.
Ooh.
I'm just waiting for you to poke yourself in the eye with a needle.
Now, once you get it hooked up on here like that, you open up your jar of solvent, you squeeze the bottle, stick it into the bottle, let go of the blue bottle, and it'll suck it up into the tube. Take it off of the bottle. And as long as you keep it level, the glue will stay in there. As soon as you tip it over and you touch it to your plastic, the glue will start coming out.
Ah,
And it does a real fine point, which is a good thing when you're using those corner clamps.
Mhm.
This is what I would use for that. But like I said, you need to be really careful. I broke the first one I had. And they come in this like protected tube.
okay. I'm not sure where that came from, but Georgia Sunbelt says "Dilly me Bob." I don't know.
I don't know.
Blue painter's tape. That makes sense. I got green.
Yes,
stuff.
I buy Amazon specials all the time.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 rolls at a time because that's all I use.
So Randall's throwing the website up. So hopefully it shows up for everybody up. It was the glue that he uses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much the same stuff. Don't
Yeah,
shoot your eye
yes.
out. Jacob
yeah.
J. And don't shoot your
I've
eyes
seen
out.
that movie.
I normally, where is it? What's that side, the other side, in the other room. But I normally use the Revell glue, and it's got the needle in it. But yeah, when that glue gets a bit too old, it's crystallizes or doesn't hold, and everything just goes crap.
Do you like my technical terms there, Anthony?
Well, I guess like if some people feel like, oh, I will never do good at scratch building. Well, maybe like let's see, well maybe like if you start by little and then go big. Like I know we said that before, but like I'm saying, a little comes a long way.
Oh, and my first scratch build was terrible. Before I ever did anything on YouTube, my first scratch build, I didn't know that if you take a side wall and you put it on the outside of the front wall, that you should do the same thing on the other side. Well, I didn't do that. I take the one and put on here, and then I would take this one and put it on there. So my building would come out cockeyed. And I couldn't understand why it was coming out cockeyed.
I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Well,
Artie,
I
you get
guess-
to answer that question. Then I'm going to probably call it quits for tonight. And then in a couple of weeks, we can pick this back up. So,
Agreed.
like I said, I'll start with my shed, I think.
I think
And
we should have,
like everybody did say there is do a cardboard cutout of it first. That's a good way to get started. And the shed's full wall roof. So
I guess DJ will be good on a live stream, like your live stream, in my opinion, because like a more variety of like for more, what I forget what the word is, but like more of everything, sort of.
lots of variety.
That,
So Artie, how big's your turntable?
I don't think I heard you.
That's the that's Wolfer's big one. What is it? 130 foot or 110 foot turntable, the big one that they have.
Yeah, they got 110.
It's big enough for the big boy to be put on it. 110,
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the same size I got.
Yeah, well, I basically got it for two reasons. Is when I'm doing a double head engines, I can get them on the turntable. Plus, also I did eventually buy the big boy, and I scored at Allegheny. So since it's a maintenance facility, I might as well throw in a decent sized turntable in it.
Yeah, might as well go big.
Yeah, I guess it's always good, like do whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, if you want to drop down,
oh sure,
or just give it quick, because I'm just going to sign off very shortly anyway. I'm going to show the picture to everybody one more time.
All right.
While you guys are
Take
dropping
care,
down.
I'll go out in the chat.
Thanks for helping me out, guys.
You're no problem, Sparky.
Talk to you later. Hope to see you guys
Always-
Friday. Bye for now.
Always happy to help.
Bye.
So just to show everybody one last time, this is going to be my first scratch build. The building in the center there is the car shops. They repaired box cars. This is way back in the 1880s all the way to the 1930s. This shop was around. After the 30s, I think it was tore down. Maybe a little bit after that, but the date's not really important. It's just the era of it, basically, to think about. So your biggest box cars then were 40, 50 feet. Your passenger cars back then were probably 50 to 60 feet. So the shop's not very big. I'm going to have probably 6 to 8 stalls. The building in the front is an office, and the building in the back matches the one in the front. But due to selective compression and for what people will see on my layout, I will probably only do the one end closest to the aisle. But then again, when I turn it around the other way, so you can actually see the whole building with the office in the back. That's something to think about too. But either way, I'm only putting the office at one end. So that's going to be my first scratch build, guys. It was anybody that's just thinking about doing scratch builds and everything else, basically get started, do something. I will start with my shed like everybody did suggest. We'll start with the cardboard cutout. And I'll go from there. My shed, like I said, is 4 walls and a roof. Throw in a door, some windows, done. And I need the shed anyway to go with my Mark Stewart build of my house. So that'll be a good getting my fingers wet type thing. Lots of number 11 blades apparently I have to buy. Some tape, a caliper apparently. I'm not sure why I need one of those, but hey, you guys can let me know why. Why would I need a caliper, you guys, if I got a ruler? But a couple more rulers I think I'm going to have to buy. I do have the air compressor and the air gun thingy, whatever that's. I don't know why I can't think of what that is. But then I got to think of a color to paint this thing, because it's all the pictures that I see of it, which are only 3. They're all black and white, where the one picture was really yellow. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm going to be attempting on some of my live streams. You guys can all take bets and side bets on how much blood we're going to be. Hopefully none, but using razors, blades, number 11s. I'm sure I'll be poking myself every once in a while with it. Maybe some swear words, but again, you can't be 13 or 14 or whatever watching this channel, right? So if I swear, I swear. All right, guys, that's all I got for you tonight. I've learned quite a bit because calipers are cool. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I think I know what a caliper is, but they got the little wind up wheel thing and they go like this and like this. They got 2 little points at the end. They're great for measuring things, but yeah, calipers for finer measurements. So I don't know. We'll see. So, okay. Like I said, that's it for me, guys. Getting my fingers wet or fingers wet thing. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to try scratch building. Go hard to start just because I don't think it's going to be that hard. The front's going to match the back. The roof's going to be the same on both sides. It's got the little mini roof with windows in it. 1, 2, 3, 4 walls on each side, basically. I don't know. We'll see. Another worker, it won't. Right. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for popping in, having a great discussion on that, and get me started. And we will talk to you guys all in 2 weeks for me. Next week, next Wednesday, guys. Wow. Time's flying already. Next Wednesday is going to be the 3rd Wednesday of the month already? Really? Wow. Anyway, it should be TSG Multimedia doing the next live stream. So June's flying by. This year's flying by. Holy cow. Get a good square from Micro Mart. They make a really thin one. Yep. Square was mentioned too. So, all right, guys. Shopping list. I'll have to make one later on. We will talk to you all later on. Thanks for hanging out. And bye for now. Bye.